Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. So day 3 of training camp just wrapped up for the Baltimore Ravens. No Lamar Jackson still sick. Harbaugh did comment on it and say that he should be back soon and that he's just waiting for the doctors to clear him. So hopefully later this week or tomorrow even, we're all excited for Lamar to get back out there. There were no new absences. We still got TJ Tampa and Keaton Mitchell and Adisa Isaac out, but nobody new, so that's good. Everyone's been staying healthy. Expect to get TJ Tampa back in the next few weeks. Keaton Mitchell probably not. And then Adisa Isaac, I have no idea. That just depends on how his hamstring responds. And then, like I said, Lamar Jackson should be back any day now. So on the injury front, pretty good across the board, I'd say, especially, rolling into early camp. We're not missing any key players. The official Eddie Jackson numbers were released, though, so that is interesting. And once again, it's another EDC masterclass. Eddie Jackson signed a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. $1.25 million of its salary, $250,000 signing bonus, and then $1 million total guaranteed and $750,000 of his base salary guaranteed. So basically almost all guaranteed, but still, that's an incredibly valuable deal. $1.5 million for Eddie Jackson. And like we talked about the other day, his first practice with the Ravens, he had a pick 6. All the other players are already talking highly of him and how much he fits in and how cool of a guy he is and how much he's going to contribute and bring to the table. Kyle Hamilton spoke to the media today and was saying that it's crazy that Eric DeCosta just keeps signing these veterans late in the offseason for cheap deals that come in and contribute so much, like we did last year with Ronald Darby and Arthur Maulet and Kyle Van Noy and Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, these were big impact players that played a big role for the Ravens last year, and I don't see any different from Eddie Jackson. I really think that he's going to play that Geno Stone role and may possibly be an upgrade over Geno Stone just with how much experience he has. I still think there's another signing or two in the near future like this, that older veteran for a cheaper deal that's going to come in and play a solid role for us this year. I think that there's another 1 to 2 of those deals that Eric DeCosta is going to get done. A big standout from today and throughout the past 3 days at camp, but really wanted to touch in on it, is Odafe Oweh. Now, we say this often. We say this every year, so I will pause a little bit. I'm not saying that this, just because he's got some offseason hype and he's in the backfield consistently in training camp, means that that's going to lead to a bunch of sacks all year long. I'm not saying that because we haven't seen it yet, but it is nice, again, to hear that Odafe Oweh is dominating training camp. This guy's in the backfield nonstop. Harbaugh even said that he had to pull back the reins on Odafe a little bit today.
I had to pull the reins on him a little bit, and he understands. You got to stay away from the quarterback as much as possible. You don't want to have any car crashes out there. But he's doing a great job, and he's bringing it pretty much in the backfield every play, so we appreciate it.
It's always nice to hear that someone who's about to have a really crucial role for this defense, Odafe Oweh is probably our lead pass rusher, and he's got to step up. He's got to step up. So I'd rather hear that he's dominating in camp again than he's struggling and getting shut down. So I think that this is positive news. Take it for however you want. I know that we got to see it to really believe it in the regular season. I'm with you if that's how you're feeling. I get it. But I think that it's still great news to hear that this guy is balling out in training camp again. And I love his aggressiveness, his motor, his passion. And I think that Harbaugh having to pull back the reins a little bit is not a problem. I think that leading with that type of that type of competitiveness is only going to serve him good in the future. So shout out to Odafe Oweh. Hopefully a huge year, 10-plus sack year coming for Odafe Oweh. We're rooting for you, man. The secondary just continues to flash practice after practice. Arthur Maulet had another interception. I think that makes 3 interceptions for him throughout this training camp already, which is we're only on day 3. So he's stepping up. We re-signed him this year. He played great last year, especially in that slot nickel role, and I think that he'll be another valuable contributor. I don't know if he's going to be out there constantly. I think that Arthur Maulet is more of a rotational guy, but either way, he has made some big plays throughout the regular season last year and is already making a lot of big plays in camp early on. And he may have some company there this year. I think Marlon Humphrey may play a lot more nickel, a lot more slot, play inside. He's had some of his best years as a Raven inside, punching the ball out, hitting people. He even said in his press conference that he loves playing nickel. He loves hitting people.
I like playing nickel. Nickel, you kind of, I like hitting people, and you can get pretty aggressive at corner, but you just can't get too aggressive. So playing nickel is the first time I ever played nickel, it was with Wink, and I think we had our first 2 games, it was a top receiver at nickel. At a slot receiver, and he was like, why don't you just match up and follow the guy in there? I wasn't very comfortable with it. I didn't really want to do it, but I was just a team guy, so I went with it, and then I really kind of started enjoying it. I made my first 2 Pro Bowls kind of predominantly playing inside there, so it's a place I'm comfortable in, but whichever way it goes, whatever week the game plan is, I know Kyle's a Swiss Army knife, so what he can do at nickel and safety and everything is whatever. So I'm kind of down for whatever.
He also talked about at some point in the future he sees himself transitioning to safety, but that him and the coaches haven't had those conversations yet. So I think that's super preliminary. I probably wouldn't even think that that's a possibility for another 2 years maybe. But at some point, Marlon might transition to safety, and I think that that's cool. That's a natural transition for an older cornerback a lot of the times. But I could really see his role being this year playing some outside, but a lot inside. And that's really probably dependent on matchups for one week to week, but also is Nate Wiggins ready to be the sole outside guy with Brandon Stephens? Brandon Stephens really stepped up to the plate last year and earned that starting outside corner role again for sure. Is Nate Wiggins ready? We're hearing amazing things. He's flashing. All the players are kind of raving about him, saying he's living up to that first round pick potential, but is he ready right now to be an every down outside corner where we can comfortably move Marlon inside? I don't know. Those are still unanswered questions. We'll see how that plays out over camp. But I think that a dream scenario is Nate Wiggins is everything and more, that we want him to be and that we expect him to be. And then Brandon Stephens also resumes or even takes a step up from where he was last year, and those are our outside corners, and then we can move Marlon inside, and then Kyle Hamilton can literally be moved everywhere depending on where we need him. I think I'd prefer Marlon inside. I really do love his physicality at corner, and I want to see him punching some balls out again, man. It's been a while, and it seems that he's feeling healthy. He said he's playing at 190 pounds this year. He's usually at 200, and called it a young man's game, and that he had to drop some grown man weight and slim down. So it seems like Marlon's ready to go. He's healthy. He's already been at camp, so excited for his role this year. And Marlon Humphrey is a huge piece of this defense. Don't forget it. But shifting focus to the offense a little bit, I know we haven't been talking about them a lot, but Daniel Faalele had a great practice today. Harbaugh was kind of raving about him, said he's got incredibly quick feet for how big he is, which I guess for how big he is, I understand the comparison. I feel like Faalele's struggle is sometimes being too slow, but it seemed like he got a lot of reps and had a great practice today. And this offensive line, 3 spots of it is still completely up in the air. Faalele is powerful. He's a mammoth of a human being, but is a tad bit slow, seems to fatigue out sometimes. Those are concerns for me with Faalele, but who knows? If he steps up consistently in practice and wins that job, then shout out to him. I'm here supporting the entire team, the starters and the depth. But I do want somebody to kind of rise up and prove themselves and earn that job so that we're confident in it, so that the coaches are confident in it, and we don't have a rotation. You know, these are the 5 guys. Let's work together, build cohesion, and develop as the season goes, because those 5 guys need to build some chemistry with each other as well. And I think that'll happen over camp. You know, it's super early. It's day 3. But can't wait to see it all play out. I think that's it for today, guys. I appreciate you, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.